Updated. Am I the a-hole for hooking up with new sister-in-law's brother? Original post. I, 27 male, USA, East Coast, recently attended my brother's wedding. He really wanted me there even though I can't stand his wife, who openly hates gay people. I stopped going to a lot of family events where she is going to be around because she makes all sort of loud complaints about me, mainly with me going to hell because I'm gay. She also hates that I'm atheist who knows more about the Bible than her. Anyway, to cut to the chase, I got invited to the wedding with no +1 over. From what my mom said, objections by my soon-to-be sister-in-law. She thought it would be disgraceful if I made an appearance. Believe me when I say I questioned my brother extensively about why he is marrying this POS, and he simply said he's in love with her. I warned him this marriage could ruin our relationship as brothers. He said he accepts the risks. So I went to the wedding alone, prepared to enjoy the wedding and reception. I noticed this really cute guy sitting on the bride's side of the church and again at the reception. I see he did not bring a date. Before I could build up the nerve to go talk to him, he wandered over to my table and sits down. He then, without any prompting, begins to talk about his nightmare sister. Honest to Jupiter, he really is new, sister-in-law's brother. He also didn't get a +1. He asked me and he knew I was the groom's brother. Why a brother married his sister. We shared a few laughs about the train wreck this marriage will become. Under the table, his foot began to rub against my leg. We spent the evening dancing, talking, and laughing. Then he asked if I wanted to go to his apartment. I did, and a lot of really good things happened. I don't know how the sister-in-law found out, but she exploded on her Facebook account how I corrupted her brother. My brother is mad at me for sleeping with this guy on his wedding night. Am I the a-hole for sleeping with her brother on her wedding night? ETA 1. This really is about whether I was the asshole for hooking up with her brother after the reception because 1, I sort of knew it would get back to them, and 2, I knew it would upset my brother. The day was supposed to be about them, even if the bride is an insufferable wench. I did not want to add bad memories to my brother's day. I love him too much for that. ETA number 2. Have to go back to work now, 11:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. ETA 3. Came back to answer a few questions and express my thanks to this community. 1. The Facebook post. I got some interesting advice from someone I reached out to get the post. Said to me, this will allow people to search for her post and give her shit. You'll make it worse than it is if you put the Facebook screenshot anywhere. Your brother will be super pissed. I can't disagree with that. I am holding off from posting. Plus, I never got a screenshot from anyone. 2. I never met her brother before this and I did not know he was gay. I knew she had a brother, that was it, because I wanted to know nothing about her. It wasn't until he sat down and started chatting with me that I even got an inkling he was related to her. 3. We're friends at most. This will likely never evolve into a romantic relationship. It wasn't a hate fuck against a sister or any sort of revenge sex. We enjoyed each other's company. We were both horny and we both wanted to get laid. Never once thought of her or my brother, ew, and what they would think. 4. This whole episode, including this Reddit post, forced me to acknowledge that I need to have a serious talk with my brother. I love him, but he is condoning mental and verbal abuse against me by proxy through his now wife. I did talk to my parents last night about this whole situation, and they are now worried my sibling relationship will get fractured beyond repair. I reminded them my brother decided to marry this woman even after she started taking shots at me. That set them back on their heels. 5. I'm incredibly grateful to r/AskGayBros for their advice, humor, insight, skepticism, and a load of brilliant ideas. You gave me way too much to think about, and I see now I desperately need that. 6. Adios. This username will now be orphaned, but I am preserving the entire thread in a day or two. Now for the updates. Update 1, 2 months later. In the last almost 7 or so weeks, these things have happened. Talked to my brother about a week after the original post to give myself time to think. I laid out several of the points expressed in the comments. He said it's now his responsibility to support his wife, even when she is mostly wrong. I said I was sorry to hear that and informed him I am going low contact, actually no contact with him. It upset him. especially when I would not respond to his texts or requests. I told him already, he told me all I need to know. My parents are really upset about this rift between me and my brother. I asked if they support his wife verbally attacking me, and they said no. I asked if it was fair people expected me to put up with it. They said no. I asked why my brother didn't defend me against her attacks. They said nothing. I asked why they didn't defend me. Mom cried and Dad said we needed to talk about this later. Still waiting for the talk. Mother's Day included only me and my brother. Sister-in-law spent it with her mother. It was tense, read tense, day. Brother and I hardly spoke. I made direct eye contact with him all day. He could not look me in the face for long. Parents tiptoed around the issue, but brother and I made an effort to be civil and shower Mom with love. Brother looked really upset when he left after 4 hours to go get his wife and see his mother-in-law. I heard they planned on visiting Mom later in the evening after I left. Memorial Day, I did not show up at my parents' since brother and sister-in-law were going to be there. Mom asked for my coleslaw recipe and I just ignored the request. Went to the house of a family friend who happened to side with me on this, and they loved my coleslaw and Jell-O fruit salad. No, it's not a 1950s monstrosity. Parents were really upset that I went there or anywhere instead of their house. I told them that I didn't go because we still needed to talk. Waiting to see what effect that produces. Showed Kay, his sister-in-law's brother, the post in Reddit after showing my brother. We sat and looked it over together. He got quite a kick out of a number of the suggestions. Then Kay asked why I thought we would not be romantically compatible. I explained the big one happened to be about religion. I'm an atheist and he's a fairly devout Christian. Kay then hit me with this line and it stunned me. I don't judge people on their religion. I judge people on how they act and treat others. I know a lot of non-religious people who are better human beings than half the people who go to my church. As a result, we have become closer friends. Yes, with a lot of benefits. It was just too damn good the first time. But refrained from discussing entering into any formal relationship. We both agreed to just let the situation float along and see where we each are in 3 or 4 months. We have such a good time together and we are going to my family's 4th of July party together because they will be there. 6. We got matching mugs after a Redditor's suggestion. His says I went to my sister's wedding and all I got was fucked. Date at the bottom. Mine says the same with brother replacing sister. 7. Kay learns sister is pissed off because a number of the reception photos, some of her favorites, contains he and I leading our fun lives in the background. She tried to get them airbrushed or edited, but all the people she talked to said it would look like garbage. She eliminated all but one of the photos from the album. One of the comments in the post predicted this, so kudos to that Redditor. 8. Father's Day is this Sunday, and I think it's going to be a repeat of Mother's Day. This will be hard on my dad since he's always thought my brother and I would always be best of friends. Brother and me usually splurge together for my dad, but this year, I am going solo on the gift. I am pretty certain this will piss off my brother, but I haven't heard from him regarding the gift. Not a lot else to report. Again, huge thanks to this community for helping me better understand the dynamics at work. I lost a lot of respect, almost all from my brother in our subsequent talks. Sister-in-law likes to trash talk about both me and Kay, her brother, to anyone who will listen, and most people are telling her to get over it. Brother and sister-in-law are looking to buy a house, but lack the funds. Normally my brother could turn to me for help, but that is not going to happen. Second update. Here is a final update to this, and I am combining the Father's Day and 4th of July into one post. I appreciate people who are invested in this story, but now I feel like a 9th grader required to give a book report. Dad had a talk with me on the Friday before Father's Day. He said both he and Mom did not want to get involved in this spat between my brother and me. I asked if it was because he feared sister-in-law would withhold the grandchildren from them, and he said no. He said as parents they did not want to show favoritism to one child. He agreed sister-in-law acted despicably towards me, and he already talked to my brother twice about her actions, once before the wedding and once before Mother's Day. My father would not divulge the content of those talks. My mother talked to me after Father's Day. She said I had every right to be upset. She said that she thinks sister-in-law is clearly in the wrong, but she also reiterated what my father said about showing favorites. I asked why she and my father didn't defend me against what sister-in-law did and said. My mother said that I am the most capable person in the family regarding to self-defense, and I said that did not excuse her from protecting her child. My mother got really upset when I said that, and the talk quickly ended. Father's Day turned out to be a very awkward occasion. We did celebrate him, but perhaps in our own ways. Sister-in-law again spent the day with her family, or at least while I was at my parents' house. I could tell Dad really wanted my brother and me to talk. I made an invitation to my brother, but he declined. He said I already knew his position on the matter. I responded he knew mine. Radio silence from that moment onward. I asked Kay if he was enjoying the drama surrounding this, and he said not really. Kay said he doesn't like fighting with siblings. It's made interacting with his family very stressful. I also asked him if he made a plan for his sister's wedding that involved to get some sort of revenge or payback. He said no. Kay stated he mostly wanted to introduce himself to me, so neither of us felt completely alone at the wedding. He told me that he did not expect to find a charming, witty, and intelligent man that seemed to understand him from the start. He honestly said that. Kay said that the dancing and fun and the rest of the night happened organically. 4th of July was very interesting. Kay joined me in attending the family celebration. I brought my coleslaw, and Kay brought some of the best damn cornbread I'd ever tasted. He told me in private his grandmother made it. We acted like complete and utter gentlemen as agreed upon prior to attending, meaning we never hugged or kissed. I said our presence alone would incite his sister, and it did. We stayed affable and friendly with everyone else. Kay is a great joke teller. Some of the relatives asked about her relationship status, and we said just friends. My parents seemed relieved at our restraint. A number of comments to the first update suggested this, and I decided it was good advice. I am fairly certain sister-in-law wanted us to be fondling and groping each other so she could call us out on it. I believe her reserved conduct further angered her early on. Also on the 4th, sister-in-law made a little huffing noise every time she spotted either Kay or me. After about 2 hours of this, my brother told her to knock it off, as it made her appear childish. My jaw hit the floor and rolled down the hall because he said it when he knew I could hear it. She looked incredibly pissed off by that, but she held her tongue. There is something else happening either around or between them, but I don't have any details. Sister-in-law actually eased up throughout the rest of the day. We went to see the fireworks display in the evening, and that was the last I saw of her or my brother for the day. Kay and I sat next to each other during the show among my family. It was a good show. At this point, my brother and I are not on speaking terms. He made his choice. He gets to make it. I get to make my choice. This looks to be the permanent state of the situation. My parents are not happy with this, but they believe and have said this is an issue we need to work out for ourselves. It would be too easy to accuse them of cowardice, but I don't think it's that anymore. They still treat me with love and respect. They tell me that they disagree with sister-in-law's actions and positions. Mom said she told sister-in-law not to act like she did on the 4th ever again. My mother can be really scary when she's angry. I took heart some people's questions as to whether I am purposely being antagonistic. Maybe a little. However, I feel like I'm defending my place in the home of my parents against an interloper who quite literally destroyed the family dynamic. Yes, I know my brother actually did. I fully plan on just ignoring her if we happen to be there at the same time. I refuse to avoid any family gatherings for her sake. Great advice from Reddit. It's my parents and my childhood home, not hers. Both she and my brother need to remember and respect that. Kay and I continue to be friends with a lot on the side. I don't know where this is heading, but I am enjoying where things stand and how it could develop. He seems to be enjoying it just as much. We've gone so far as to introduce each other to our friend groups. Some people say they get a boyfriend vibe from us, and some say they don't. I honestly don't feel like sex is at the center of our relationship, or whatever this is, anymore. He told me on July 6th he knew how his sister would and did treat me. Kay said he didn't want me to have to face it alone like he did. He really is a very good friend. One final development from yesterday. My father asked me if I knew my brother and sister-in-law were looking to buy a house. I told him I sort of figured that out on my own. Dad did not ask me about money, but I did say I would not be available to lend any monetary assistance. He said he understood. For the record, I got a BS and an MS that led to a great job I got through nepotism through an aunt. It pays very well, but it doesn't put me in the very wealthy category. I just save money all the time and invest conservatively. I scrimp and save on everything. Kay calls me cheap, but smart. I'm fairly certain my brother is following these posts, so he would know how I reacted to all of this. I don't believe my parents know about Reddit. If they do, they kept very quiet about it. This will be the last update. I came to Reddit to get some sorely needed advice and perspective, and everyone came through. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate the support internet strangers offered me as this unfolded over the past several months. They say blood is thicker than water, but so is chemical waste and dynamite. I am learning to put my family relationships on a more adult level, and Reddit helped me a lot. Peace and love to all. Thank you. Third update. So me and my brother haven't spoken or seen each other since November 2nd. He sent me a text asking if I could give him some money to help him with a down payment for a new house. He said give and not loan. I whipped up a loan contract and sent it to him. He got mad and complained with my dad, who told him it was unrealistic to borrow a large sum of money from me. My brother called me an a-hole for not giving him the money because he believes I can afford it. He never even said please. We're done as brothers after that. Brother and I split holidays with our parents. We're never there at the same time. This makes our mom really sad, and our dad isn't happy with it either. However, they do understand, and although they never said it out loud, I know they eventually sided with me on this. My sister-in-law is just a horrific homophobe. We know this because of stories Kay told us about growing up with her, and his family is not really peachy either. As many Redditors predicted, Kay and I did become a couple. We figured that out right after Halloween, when we realized we each stopped dating because we always hung out together. Kay all but moved into my apartment by Halloween. He spent more time there than at his parents' house. He moved in full-time just before Thanksgiving. He is so easy to live with, and the adjustment was never difficult for either of us. Apparently his sister and most of his family are really pissed off he is living with me and we're a couple. Who cares? Fuck them. Kay and I spent most of Thanksgiving and most of Christmas with my mom and dad. Mom said that she's glad she doesn't have to pretend anymore that Kay and I aren't together. They really like him. Kay loves my folks. I think he's using me to get to them. Just kidding. We went to a great New Year's party at a friend's house. Everyone there knows us, knew that we'd become a couple. They said it was one of the deals that just looked so obvious. I feel kind of stupid for trying to ignore the fact that he and I just got along so well together. I'm pretty much a fool in love. So kind of split down the middle, lost my brother but got a great boyfriend. Parents still refrain from telling me or my brother how we need to act towards each other. I can't see my relationship with my brother ever getting fixed unless, well, I don't want him to be as happy as he can be. Peace to everyone. For those of you who predicted these outcomes, I guess it was kind of transparent, and I was kind of being willfully ignorant. Thanks to all on Reddit. Kay says hello. He's watching me write this. Fourth update. Sister-in-law's gay brother and me. My brother and I still do not talk. He got really mad at me when he made a bid on a house and lost out because he couldn't come up with enough of a down payment. He blamed this on me because I wouldn't give him the money. My parents were furious with him when he publicly made these accusations. Most of our side of the family know he is full of crap, and no one blames me for not loaning him the money. Our parents pulled out their donation portion as a result, and my brother blamed this on me as well. Now brother and sister-in-law need to come up with the down payment all on their own. I heard sister-in-law got some money from her parents to help, but it all got spent on trying to bring down her debts. Her debts are killing them when added onto my brother's debts. They don't seem very good with money. Despite that, Kay and I hear they are still happy together. I wouldn't know since I only ran into my brother once on Mother's Day, and that was a tense event. Father's Day, 4th of July, and Labor Day got spent separately with my parents. The same is going to be true for Thanksgiving and Festivus. My parents and I are still very tight. As the situation progressed, they got a good look of sister-in-law in action. She's not really welcome at their home anymore unless she is with my brother. I think I read this first on Reddit, but I advise my parents to believe the person when they show you their true face. They are afraid my brother isn't really happy since he is also losing some of his oldest and closest friends, although that could be the result of them still being single. It's hard to evaluate from a distance. Kay says brother and sister-in-law spend the majority of their social time with Kay's and sister-in-law's family. Kay gets reports from one of his aunts since he is now persona non grata. I had to look that phrase up with his family because he is living completely in sin with me. He says it's fine since my parents have really taken to him. They like Kay a lot, and they have gone so far as to tell him it doesn't matter if he is dating me, as he'll always be welcome at their home. He goes over there on his own times. I think that is so cool. Kay and I remain happy together. After the first couple of months, we needed to really figure out what our relationship is all about. There were a few really tense times during that period, but friends reminded us we needed to openly and honestly communicate every single day. That is the magic of any relationship from what I can figure out. We clearly spell out what we expect from each other, and that helps us keep everything nice and level. We work because we work at it. Sometimes I think what it boils down to is that I just like Kay a lot. He would be my friend even if we weren't dating and living together. He told me he feels the same way and thinks the whole liking aspect is probably pretty significant. I agree, and I just like being around him as much as I can. I found out that my dad and mom give really truly great advice. I understand my parents' relationship so much better than I ever did, and it's becoming model for me. They remain sad and disheartened about the schism between me and my brother, but they also understand that I should not be treated like garbage. They also encourage both Kay and me to try to stay true to ourselves, but be realistic about what we want individually and together. I haven't asked, but I wonder if they ever gave the same advice to my brother. I think they would. He probably didn't listen because he's in love. The long and short of it is not much has changed in the past 8 months or so. Although I tried to initiate a brief conversation with my brother on Mother's Day, his anger and bitterness towards me because I won't give him house money seems to be the top of the issue with him. My mom said he feels like I'm not really considering his position, and she could not tell me that with a straight face. I honestly don't understand how anyone can act like he did towards me and then expect me to just roll over and do what they want. Not sure things are ever going to be right between us. It still makes me sad, and I miss the old relationship with my brother, but I've got other things to look forward to and people who make me feel happy. Like my dad likes to tell me and Kay, we still have a lot of life left to live. That's all for today. If you're enjoying this story, please like the video and share your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you.